Hey there, ladies, gents, and everybody in between. This is your pal Wolfie with another review, this time for episode 4 of The Last of Us. And this one was okay. So this was definitely like just one of those build up episodes, right? Um, so I'm not gonna really have too much to say about this one, but so with this episode, we got to more or less got to see more of Ellie and Joel's dynamic starting to change a little bit. Um in the beginning, Joel was completely apprehensive about the whole taking her the across to help her out, to help out the Fireflies, whatever have you. Um but now that he's spent more time with her, they've had more opportunities to talk and all that stuff. Now they're starting to like build a bond. No matter how much like he's trying to off put it by calling her just cargo, blah 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 blah. He can't help it because Ellie is fucking lovable as hell. And I laughed a lot in this episode. So I'll granted, like, I'll give them that. Like, this is the first episode out of all of them so far where I've actually laughed more. And because Ellie and her puns, I love the fact that they shot for shot did her little thing with the fucking pun book. I was rolling. Like, that was hysterical. They played it perfectly. And hearing the line, like, in my head, like, as I was hearing the lines, because I've played the game over so many times that I've got the lines pretty much memorized. So as they were saying the lines, I catch myself saying it with them, and I'm like, oh, this is my scene. Like, I love that scene. I'm glad that that was able to get kept with them in the car, and like that part as well. Not even just the pun book, but the when they're in the car, and then and Ellie finds the fucking, because the car was Bill's car, and she finds a male porn magazine. That shit was just like that. That's classic. That is classic, and I'm glad that that didn't go anywhere. I'm glad they still found a way to put it in there, even with the changes they made in the third episode. So I'm glad that we still had that scene. Honestly, that was the only, like, that portion is the only part I was sad that I'm like, I thought we weren't gonna get it since they never had Bill and Ellie meet. So, but I'm glad they kept it. That shit had me rolling. But yeah, no, this episode was more about building their relationship, and it's the first time we get to see Ellie shoot somebody. But also, we come to find out that this is not her first time shooting somebody in general. Um, Mind you, she doesn't reveal to us who that first person actually is. But I'm gonna guess, if you know anything about the damn game, then my guess is probably the same guess as yours. But we will see where that goes down the line. Also, in this episode, we get introduced to two new characters, Kathleen and Perry, which Perry is actually played by the guy who voices in mocaps Tommy in the video game. Totally new character, but so yeah, so Perry's a whole new character, and he's Kathleen's right hand man. So with this episode, like, if you watch the inside the episode thing at the end of the thing, it tells you, like, they're telling you that they wanted to humanize the like the raider group that you fight in Pittsburgh in the game. Now it's taking place in Kansas City, and those characters are actually rebels. And now we have names to faces. Now we're associating these as, like, actual, like, characters, not just like in the game where they're just nameless, more or less faceless enemies that we're just gunning down just to get through and survive. Now they actually have, like, personalities and shit like that, so it humanizes them. And so apparently they're, like, anybody, again, if you know the game, then you know who Henry and Sam are. And apparently Henry and Sam did, or at least Henry, at least just from what they're hinting at, Henry did something that led to Kathleen's brother being killed, and she wants revenge. So she's after him in particular for this reason. Um, she's the group that she's leading. She's obviously, rallying them up for other things. Like she's, I'm gonna guess that she's found a way to motivate them in another way, not just for revenge for her brother, but something that benefits them too. I'm not exactly 100% sure yet. It might have been brought up and I didn't catch it, but as far as I know, we still haven't figured out how it is that she put this group together and how she keeps such control over them. But she's actually played by one of my favorite actresses. I was very happy to see her get cast in the show. I had no idea who she was going to play, but now I'm glad to see her, and I'm excited to see where it goes. It's just so funny because she's so soft spoken and stuff. So it's like that's the leader of these mass raiders who took down a Fedra camp. This is gonna be funny. So I'm excited to see where that goes. But yeah, anybody who has watched a lot of LGBTQ like movies and TV shows, they know exactly who she is. And she's a huge ally. Fucking adore her. She's great and everything. So I can see this going really fun with her. And so at one point in the episode, they pretty much hint at to us that the bloater is finally coming. He's going to make his debut, and it looks like his debut will be in episode 5 from the look of the preview. But they gave us a hint of it because they found like what looks like some kind of a crater inside of a building, and I'm guessing underneath that crater is the the tendrils, like how we saw in episode 2 that the tendrils, although infected or connected or whatever have you, and like this kind of like hive mind kind of a thing. I'm guessing that they're expanding and growing underneath, and like they're slowly like building up until the point where they burst out of the fucking ground. That I can't wait to see. I cannot wait to see it. I have been hyped to see how they do the bloater. Like there are many infected that I'm excited to see them do. Not one in particular I don't like. I'm not like, I hate this. I hate the fucking thing, and I now that season 2 is definitely coming, I'm terrified to see how they're gonna put that shit together. But that aside, we are gonna finally see the bloater. He's finally gonna be making his debut, and whoa, Nelly, I can tell that's gonna be crazy. But like I said, this episode was mostly just a build up, mostly just having us have a moment of connecting with Joel and Ellie, of us getting a dip of some information about the raiders that they're about to be throwing down with. And I did really like even though they changed it, so like in the game, the first time Ellie kills somebody is to save Joel. In this one, she saves Joel. She doesn't kill the guy. She just shoots him. But it like it affects her when she does it, and Joel doesn't really like, he does what he does. He immediately like tells her to just go to like more or less just go away while he handles the rest of it. And it's like, but he doesn't really, he takes a really long time before he actually like addresses the issue. Like he should have actually like sooner. He definitely should have done it sooner, because it's like by that point he's let it fester for her by that point, by the time that he actually talks to her. And he's missed his window. It's too late now. That moment that he had to turn this into something therapeutic for her, now it's just infested. And now that darkness that Ellie already had is just sprouting. And like, if you pay attention to her character through the buildup of these couple episodes, you can see it. They're planting the seeds to that darkness that has always existed inside of Ellie, that Joel nurtures and brings out in her, which is one of the main reasons I fucking hate his character. But yeah, so we're getting that build up. So there's like I said, there's just a lot of just building blocks. But there's not really much to say about this episode, because like I said, this is just leading into the fifth one, and the fifth one is going to be the one that does all the hard hitting blah 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 blah. But I had mentioned before that I was pretty sure that we were going to meet Henry and Sam by the end of this episode, but I think that episode 5 was going to be like their episode, and I was right. So we did meet briefly Henry and Sam holding Joel and Ellie at gunpoint. And I'm gonna guess that now the next episode, which is actually gonna be on Friday, not Sunday this time because of Super Bowl. But I'm fine with it, as long as they didn't, like, I was just, my worry was that they were gonna make us wait an extra week instead, which would have pissed me off. Fucking Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl has done that for so many damn shows. I hate it. I hate when that shit happens, because I hate football. So I'm like, I don't care about that. But yeah. So soon we'll be back to see what's going on, and I'm telling you, I said it in my last review, I'm worried to see how this is going to play out with Henry and Sam, only because, again, if you know the game, and if they follow the game with this, it's going to be a hard episode. Or at least one scene in particular is going to be a very hard scene to get through. Because it's hard. It's hard in the damn game. Like, it's one of the... There aren't a lot of scenes in the first game that really get me emotionally. Honestly, there really aren't. Like, the Sarah thing didn't get me. There's a couple of things. There's a couple of, like, big moments in the first game that just... I thought they were fine, but they don't hit. They don't resonate. That, though, the one with Henry and Sam, that resonates. That still hits like a son of a bitch. Like, I still remember the first time I ever played through the game and that scene happened. I had to pause the game and give myself like 30 minutes to just recover from it, because that shit hit like a fucking ton of bricks. So we can only wonder how that's gonna play out, if they still do it, if they still go by the video game in for that scene, then we're in for a mighty wild ride. But at the end of the day, I would give this episode like an 8, 7.5 to an 8. It was like, it's a good build up episode, but it's not an episode I'm gonna revisit at all. Where I've rewatched the first episode like 3 times. I've rewatched the second episode like 4 times, and I've rewatched the third episode almost 100 times. The third episode, I'm still feeling, still resonating. One of the best fucking episodes of television I've ever seen. So I don't see them topping that, and so I'm curious to see where everything goes. But till the next time, see where everything happens.